You're watching Spectrum News. It's 7 o'clock.
Ahead on Spectrum News, live at 7, tragedy in Texas. 10 people dead, 10 others injured after a shooting at a school in Santa Fe. We have the very latest from the Lone Star State.
Meanwhile, President Trump and others responding to the shooting. You'll hear his response, along with a strong reaction from Governor Cuomo ahead.
And restaurant workers at the state capitol today rallying against the elimination of the tipped hourly minimum wage. You're going to hear both sides of that debate as Spectrum News Live at 7 starts right now.
Hello and thanks for tuning in to Spectrum News Live at 7. I'm Terry Stackhouse.
And I'm Solomon Syed. Lots to get to this evening, including the latest out of Texas. We have a live report from there coming up in just a minute. First, though, a check of that weather on the one's forecast with meteorologist Ryan Finn. Good evening, Ryan.
Good evening, Sol, and we are being treated to another beautiful evening here across the 518. Temperature-wise, we're about 10 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, but still a nice evening to be outside. Currently 70 at Albany. We're still picking up on a lot of sun. You can see the clouds are slowly increasing from the south. Not a bad idea to take a light jacket, maybe a sweatshirt if you're heading out, especially after sunset. I think our temperatures are going to drop kind of quick because it's going to take a little while for the clouds to thicken, but they eventually do, and that will lead to some rain here for tomorrow, which will be with us for the better part of the day. Guys, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. Now to our top story this evening, continuing to follow the latest developments coming out of Texas, where a school shooting has left 10 people dead.
Spectrum News reporter Johnny Garcia joins us now from Santa Fe. Johnny, we can see dozens of people gathered behind you for that vigil tonight. What's the latest there?
Yeah, to give you an idea, we're about 4 miles away from Santa Fe High School, where the whole school has essentially become a giant crime scene. Now, right behind me, you can see here we're at a local bank in Santa Fe, where in less than half an hour or so, a memorial vigil is set to take place. Now, the school remains closed after this morning's deadly shooting that left 9 students and 1 teacher dead. 10 others were hurt and are recovering in area hospitals. Now, this community in mourning, torn apart after authorities say a 17-year-old teenager by the name Dimitrios Pargorgis allegedly attacked students at the high school. That shooting suspect in jail in Galveston County right now with no jail bond, according to FBI officials. He faces charges of capital murder and aggravated assault of a peace officer. Investigators continue to gather as much information as possible to figure out how this all happened and mainly as to why. Now, the threat of danger is not over. Explosive devices have been found at the high school and at locations near the school. Now, once again, back here live, a candlelight memorial is planned here tonight and is set to begin about half hour or so. Reporting in Santa Fe, I'm John Garcia.
All right, Johnny, thank you for that update there in Texas. Meanwhile, back here at home, Governor Andrew Cuomo, who pushed for the SAFE Act following the Sandy Hook shooting, issuing a strong response after this latest mass shooting.
Capitol Tonight's Nick Reisman joins us now with more.
Yeah, hi, good evening, guys. Governor Andrew Cuomo urging federal lawmakers and President Donald Trump to take action on gun control. Now, Governor Cuomo released an open letter to both Trump as well as members of the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, calling on them to, quote, do something, written all in capital letters. And the governor signed this open letter as both a father and as an elected official who has received an F rating from the National Rifle Association. Now, of course, Governor Cuomo has made a major issue out of gun control, passing the 2013 SAFE Act through the legislature. It's a controversial and sweeping gun control package of measures that has proven to be a real problem for him in certain parts of upstate New York and with Republican voters. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump also reacting to the news out of Texas.
It's been going on too long in our country, too many years, too many decades now. My administration is determined to do everything in our power to protect our students, secure our schools, and to keep weapons out of the hands of those who pose a threat to themselves and to others. Everyone must work together at every level of government to keep our children safe.
Now, Cuomo has been urging federal lawmakers in Congress as well as presidential administrations to act on gun control really over the last 5 years. Keep in mind that the governor has said that while New York has passed and really done as much as it can when it comes to gun control, the federal government needs to do more. He says that when there are guns that are outlawed in New York, they are still able to get in illegally in New York, meaning that federal action is needed, or at least other states need to take action as well. That's the latest from here at the State Capitol Bureau. I'm Nick Reisman. Let's send it back to you guys.
An update now to a story we brought you last night. Police releasing the name of the man killed by an Amtrak train on the tracks in Castleton-on-Hudson. They say 27-year-old Thomas Brust from Mechanicville was crossing the track when he was hit and killed around 8:30 last night. It's unclear why Brust was there, but police say the area is often used for crossing to the Hudson River, though it's not permitted. The train was heading to Rensselaer from New York City when Brust was hit. The police chief says he believes this was an accident. As for the passengers on the train, authorities tell us no one on board was hurt.
Well, the U.S. Attorney's Office announcing 3 guilty pleas in connection to a fall burglary at Target Sports in Glenville. Back in October, more than 50 guns stolen from that shop, many never recovered.
Omar De Jesus, Delmary Morales, and Juan Saez have all pleaded guilty to aiding the 2 men initially charged with the crime. Of those 2 men, 24-year-old Christian Roman has been indicted, charged with stealing firearms from a licensed federal dealer. He faces 20 years in prison if he's convicted. Jose Fontanez pleaded guilty to stealing the firearms and other related charges.
At the Capitol now, where some restaurant workers don't like what's on the legislative menu. While the Labor Department held a hearing on eliminating the tipped hourly wage, the minimum wage at least, those workers rallying against it. Governor Cuomo's pitching the plan as a way to raise salaries by giving them the higher regular minimum wage and still letting them earn tips. Right now, they have that tipped wage, which only gets bumped up to the regular minimum if their salaries plus those tips falls short of that number. But workers fear the new system would make people less inclined to actually tip them. And restaurant owners fear payroll issues, maybe layoffs, would mean higher prices for those customers and ultimately would hurt business.
The National Restaurant Association has done a very good job of misleading restaurant workers into believing that an increase to the tip minimum wage means that people are going to stop tipping or that tips are going to be taken away from them.
So the unintended consequences of eliminating the tip credit across the state of New York are eliminating jobs. Support staff will be the first people to lose their jobs. Reduction in hours, increased automation, so you'll be ordering from far more iPads at all sorts of different tables.
No deadline has been set for the governor to make a decision.
Despite efforts to save it, a historic church in Clifton Park will be torn down. Late last month, the Clifton Park Center Baptist Church received a permit to demolish its old meeting house, which sits next door to its current church. Built in 1837, the structure is on the National Register of Historic Places. The congregation stopped using the building when the new church was built in 1990, causing the structure to erode. Town historian John Scherer says efforts have been made to save it, including offers by the Peck family to buy and restore it, but the church's leaders declined.
Had they wanted to preserve the church, if they wanted to keep the church, they had every opportunity to do so. But I think that they were determined to demolish the church, and it's their prerogative to do so.
In a written statement, the church's commission says the decision to demolish the church was extremely difficult. They also denied claims that any public assistance was offered to preserve the structure.
Well, the Adirondack Thunder are set to rumble in the ECHL Eastern Conference Finals tonight. It's their deepest playoff run since the Glens Falls Civic Center Coalition bought the team.
Puck drop occurring at just about the top of the hour, and fans have been looking forward to this game for quite a while. Mercedes Williams is at the Glens Falls Civic Center right now and has more on all the excitement.
That's right, it's game time and the spirit here is on full display. Take a look, you can see people in all the colors, the red, they've got their cowbells, they got their signs, they are cheering on the Adirondack Thunder. They're playing tonight against the Florida Everblades. Earlier, vendors were prepping for the thousands of hockey fans that are showing up tonight, from the team merchandise store to the food stands. This venue is worth noting because it employs about 150 people seasonally, not to mention the hotels, restaurants, and bars that see a real uptick in sales during the time of these games. I spoke with the general manager of the Thunder. He told me how this arena has been a heartbeat of the city's economic development and how fans like these make it all possible.
Of this year.
Well, yeah, it's been a great year. I think we sold over 22,000 more tickets than we did last year in the regular season only. So certainly the playoffs have been an economic boom for the team, for the arena, and certainly the downtown Glens Falls community.
So even if the Thunder doesn't take home a victory tonight, the city of Glens Falls is still going to come away with a win. Back to you.
Mercedes Williams reporting for us there. And Terry, the cool thing about this, the city and the coalition there, it is their team. They own this team.
And for decades, people, I mean, it is a hockey town. They love it.
No
a lot of
doubt
cowbell in
about
the
that.
background there.
Yeah,
Did you hear that?
a lot of cowbell. Hey, more cowbell. We always need it.
Got you caught up on all today's headlines, and now it's time to check back in with meteorologist Ryan Finn over in the Weather Center.
Yeah, Ryan, what's on tap for tonight, bud? Looking into the weekend.
We are sitting pretty here this evening, that's for sure, Saul, but the weekend, or at least the start of it, is not looking great. So take some time, enjoy the sun while we have it out over the next hour or so, along with these temperatures in the 60s to around 70. We have clouds beginning to make their way in from the south. If you have any outdoor plans this evening, you're safe from any rain, but that is going to change here beginning tomorrow morning. It'll probably be after about 7 or 8 o'clock in the greater capital region, but the rain increases in coverage and intensity. It'll come down heavy at times throughout the course of tomorrow afternoon, becoming lighter and a bit more isolated in nature tomorrow night and into the day Sunday. If you want to do something outside this weekend, I think Sunday is going to be the better day to do it. Definitely not completely dry, but showers that we do see will be a bit more isolated in nature. Now with the clouds and the rain here tomorrow, we're looking at high temperatures only in the 50s. Sunday is actually going to be a warm and muggy day. We're in the 70s, feeling pretty muggy with hit and miss type showers and thunderstorms around. Solomon and Terry.
All right, Ryan, thanks for that. We'll see you a bit later with the full 7-day forecast. Time for a quick break. When we return, more information released after a tragic incident in Cuba leaves more than 100 people dead. Investigators now searching for answers after a deadly plane crash.
And in Florida, a standoff between authorities and a gunman who opened fire in one of the president's hotels. Details on the shootout when we come back.